There's nothing like sharing fresh water from your own well. Welcome to All God's People. I'm Connie Vandeman Jeffrey. The Paradise Adventist Church has been sharing clean water straight from its well to those in need for 40 years, and now they're aiming to serve campfire survivors. Since the fire, it's been particularly meaningful to be able to share this resource with friends across the community. But not everyone is using the water wisely. While there have been some reports of the water being used for non-essentials, church leaders are determined to continue offering this service to the community, and they're asking people to bring handheld containers only. The water station at Paradise Church is open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Thank you so much, Paradise Church, for reaching out to those in need. Vaping, or the use of e-cigarettes, is creating an epidemic in our country. CDC health officials have said they expect more deaths to be reported. There have been 530 confirmed and probable cases of lung injuries related to e-cigarettes as of September 17, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. In the Aloha State, 26% of high school students currently smoke e-cigarettes, which is twice the national average. The state of Hawaii is now investigating the first possible case of serious lung injury related to e-cigarette use. So what are the dangers? What symptoms should you be aware of? Taken Low, MD, of Adventist Health Castle's Pulmonary Medicine Department, appeared on KHON2 with details. We're so thankful for the dedicated physicians and staff at our Adventist health facilities, who serve our community in so many ways, including through reports on issues such as vaping. A link to this informative video is in our program bulletin. On Sunday, September 22, delegates and constituents of the Southern California Conference gathered at the White Memorial Church in East Los Angeles for the 65th constituency session of the conference. The 4 officers of the conference were re-elected for a 4-year term. President Elder Valino A. Salazar, Executive Secretary Ministerial Director Elder John H. Kress, Treasurer Orville Ortiz, and Vice President Elder James G. Lee. Dr. Harold Crook was re-elected as Superintendent of Education. SCC's mission statement is Exalting Christ by Serving Others. Let's remember the officers and entire staff of the Southern California Conference as they continue to do just that in their large, diverse territory. As we mentioned 2 weeks ago, September 15 through October 15 is Hispanic Heritage Month. Today, Jorge Soria, the Vice President of the Pacific Union Conference, joins us with a heartwarming story from the early 1900s.
The history of the Hispanic Church in the Pacific Union is one of great blessings, but unfortunately, we don't have many pictures to illustrate it. But we do have some great stories, like this one, the story of Ismael Sanchez, son of one of the first Hispanic converts to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. It even has El Centinela in the story. Ismael Sanchez left Arizona to study at Pacific Union College in Northern California. He was interested in sharing his faith and soul winning. He then began working as a literature evangelist in Hanford, California. Ismael stayed with an Adventist doctor whose strict rules included a 9 o'clock curfew. If Ismael arrived late after conducting a Bible study, he had to sleep outside. Elder Candelario Castillo, the only ordained Hispanic minister in California, was the pastor of the Hanford Church. Perhaps Pastor Castillo was a little threatened by Ismael's enthusiasm and ability, or maybe he was overprotective of his daughters, or maybe he was eager to see the work expand into new places. Regardless, he sent Ismael off to Fresno, about 40 miles away, to try to sell Spanish language literature there. And maybe Pastor Castillo was right about his daughter, because within a few years, Ismael was married to Deborah, Pastor Castillo's oldest daughter. Love found a way. How did his work with El Centinela go? Well, through his work, the Diaz and Lara families became interested in the Adventist message, and Ismael had Bible studies with them. They became the founding members of a small Hispanic group in Fresno, which grew to become the Fresno Spanish Church. Today, there are hundreds of Spanish-speaking Seventh-day Adventist members in Central California, and many churches. Here in the Pacific Union, we have 51,777 members, more than 20% of our total membership. There are more than 245 Spanish language congregations, which include churches, companies, and groups. And we still read and share El Centinela. We praise God for how He has blessed our Spanish churches. And as Connie likes to say, all God's people.
Thank you, Pastor Soria. Stories like this one remind us clearly of God's leading in our past history. You can read this story in the October Recorder. Thanks so much for joining us today. For All God's People, I'm Connie Jeffrey.